Prince Harry thought his meeting with Meghan Markle was destiny, a blind date arranged by a mutual friend, two people finding each other through serendipity and organic connection. He told that story publicly, spoke about it in interviews, wrote about it in his memoir. The narrative of fate bringing them together became foundational to their love story. But according to royal biographer Tom Bower, who has spent years investigating the truth behind Harry and Meghan's relationship, that story is a carefully constructed fiction. And Harry has recently discovered evidence that allegedly proves their meeting was not chance but orchestration. Orchestration by a man named Markus Anderson. Want to know what Tom Bower uncovered about Anderson's real role in bringing Harry and Meghan together? Sources familiar with Bower's research claim Anderson was not simply a mutual friend facilitating an introduction. He was allegedly a strategic architect who positioned Meghan near Harry deliberately, who engineered the circumstances of their meeting carefully, who managed the early relationship to ensure Harry fell for Meghan before discovering the manipulation behind their connection. This is not speculation about their origins. According to those who have seen Bower's documentation, this is evidence that Harry's entire relationship with Meghan was allegedly designed by someone who understood exactly how to target a vulnerable prince and deliver him to an ambitious woman who needed royal connection. And Harry, insiders claim, is stunned by the revelation that the love story he believed in was actually someone else's strategic operation. To understand Markus Anderson's alleged role in Harry and Meghan's meeting, you need to understand who Anderson is and what power he wielded. Long before he allegedly orchestrated Harry and Meghan's introduction, long before he became known as Meghan's close friend, Markus Anderson was a figure deeply embedded in the Soho House network. But here's what most people don't know. According to sources familiar with elite social circles where Anderson operated, he was not simply a member or employee. He allegedly functioned as a gatekeeper who controlled access to exclusive spaces where wealth and beauty intersect. Word from people who knew Anderson during his peak influence claims he understood how to position beautiful, ambitious women near powerful men who could change their trajectories. That he allegedly facilitated introductions that looked organic but were actually calculated to create specific outcomes. That his role went far beyond hospitality management into something closer to social engineering. People familiar with how Anderson allegedly operated describe a man who knew everyone who mattered in certain circles, who understood which men were vulnerable to which approaches, who recognized potential matches between ambition and opportunity. And according to insiders, Anderson allegedly saw Meghan as someone with extraordinary potential if positioned correctly, not because of her acting talent, but because she had the intelligence, the charm, and the understanding of how elite networks function that could make her successful in accessing power if the right doors opened. Sources suggest Anderson allegedly became Meghan's guide through exclusive social territories during her years in the Soho House network. He reportedly introduced her to wealthy men who could support her lifestyle. He allegedly positioned her at events where influential people gathered. He helped her understand how to navigate rooms where most people never gain access. And according to those who witnessed this relationship, Anderson allegedly recognized that Meghan's ultimate potential was not in Hollywood, but in connecting to someone with global status and institutional power, someone like a prince. People close to this network claim Anderson allegedly knew Harry's social patterns, understood his vulnerabilities after losing his mother, recognized that Harry frequented certain Soho House locations where Anderson had influence. And Anderson allegedly began positioning Meghan exactly where their paths would cross in ways that seemed coincidental, but were actually designed. This is where the story shifts from Anderson's positioning to Harry's devastating discovery. So when did Harry allegedly learn that his meeting with Meghan was orchestrated by Markus Anderson rather than arranged by chance? According to sources close to the prince, the revelation came through Tom Bower's exhaustive investigation. Bower, who interviewed hundreds of people about Meghan's background, allegedly uncovered testimonies from individuals who witnessed Anderson's role in bringing Harry and Meghan together. And when Bower's findings circulated through media and royal circles, insiders claim someone ensured Harry saw the evidence. Want to know what that documentation reportedly contains? Sources familiar with Bower's research suggest it includes testimonies from people who worked in Soho House circles during the period when Harry and Meghan met. Multiple witnesses allegedly confirmed that Anderson spoke about Meghan and Harry as a potential match before they ever met, that he calculated how to position them in the same spaces, that he allegedly manipulated social circumstances to ensure interactions seemed organic rather than engineered. People close to Harry claim that when he first heard Anderson had orchestrated their meeting, he dismissed it as conspiracy theory designed to undermine his relationship. But as Bauer's evidence accumulated, as sources proved credible, as the pattern of Anderson's involvement became undeniable, Harry allegedly began to recognise he had been played from the very beginning. And here's what reportedly stunned Harry most. Sources suggest he discovered that Anderson allegedly knew details about Harry's schedule, his social vulnerabilities, his need for someone who seemed to understand him, and Anderson allegedly briefed Meghan on all of it before engineering their introduction. This means Meghan was not meeting Harry cold. According to insiders, she allegedly went into that first encounter armed with intelligence about who Harry was, what he needed, how to present herself to maximise appeal. The organic connection Harry felt was allegedly the result of Meghan knowing exactly what to say, how to act, what vulnerability to mirror because Anderson had prepared her. And Harry, according to sources, feels completely manipulated. As news of Harry's discovery about Anderson's role spread through royal circles, reactions revealed how long palace insiders suspected the meeting was orchestrated. How did the palace respond when Harry finally learned the truth about Markus Anderson? Inside Buckingham Palace, sources say there is quiet vindication mixed with sadness. Senior advisors allegedly raised concerns early about how quickly Harry and Meghan's relationship progressed, about the convenience of their meeting, about Anderson's visible involvement in facilitating their connection. And according to palace insiders, investigators looked into Anderson's background and role but lacked concrete proof of orchestration. Now that Tom Bower has allegedly documented Anderson's strategic positioning of Meghan near Harry, sources claim palace staff feel their early suspicions are validated. They reportedly recognised that Harry was targeted rather than randomly meeting someone who happened to be perfect for him. Prince William's reaction is allegedly more personal. Word from those close to the Prince of Wales suggests William questioned the organic nature of Harry's meeting with Meghan from the beginning. He apparently asked Harry about Anderson's role, about how the introduction really happened, about whether it seemed too convenient that Meghan appeared in Harry's life exactly when he was most vulnerable. And Harry, according to sources, accused William of being unable to accept his happiness. Now, insiders claim William watches his brother grapple with evidence that validates every question William asked years ago. Meanwhile, King Charles's position is reportedly conflicted. Sources close to the monarch suggest Charles wants to believe Harry's relationship has genuine foundation, even if the meeting was facilitated. But according to insiders, Charles now questions whether anything about Harry and Meghan's connection was ever real, if it began with such calculated orchestration. And in California, word from sources close to the Sussexes suggests Meghan is furious that Anderson's role is being examined and exposed. According to insiders, she denies that Anderson orchestrated anything and frames Bower's findings as more attempts to undermine her relationship. But people familiar with Anderson's actual involvement claim Meghan knows exactly how much Anderson did to engineer their meeting. And her defensiveness reportedly confirms rather than disputes the allegations. But here's what most people don't know. What specifically did Markus Anderson allegedly do to orchestrate Harry and Meghan's meeting? The evidence paints a picture of manipulation that Harry never suspected. The first element involves Anderson allegedly researching Harry's patterns. According to sources familiar with Bower's findings, Anderson studied where Harry socialised when in London, which Soho House locations he frequented, what type of women attracted his attention, what vulnerabilities made him receptive to romantic connection. Insiders claim Anderson allegedly compiled intelligence on Harry the way intelligence services compile dossiers on targets. Not for malicious purposes, but to maximise the chances that when Harry met Meghan, the connection would feel destined. The second element is more calculated. Multiple sources claim Anderson allegedly prepared Meghan extensively before engineering their introduction. He reportedly told her details about Harry's life, his relationship with his mother, his military service, his feelings of being second to William. According to insiders, Anderson allegedly coached Meghan on what to emphasise, how to present herself, which vulnerabilities to mirror to create instant connection. People familiar with these preparations suggest Meghan went into that first meeting knowing more about Harry than he knew about her. That the playing field was never level because Anderson had allegedly tilted it entirely in Meghan's favour. The third element involves the actual orchestration. Word from sources familiar with how Anderson allegedly operated suggests he did not simply arrange one blind date. He allegedly engineered multiple opportunities for Harry and Meghan to cross paths in ways that seemed coincidental, positioning them at the same events, ensuring mutual friends mentioned each favourably to the other, creating social circumstances where connection felt inevitable rather than forced. According to insiders, Anderson allegedly managed the early courtship like a campaign, staying close enough to guide but distant enough that his role remained invisible to Harry. And the fourth element is what allegedly stunned Harry most. Sources claim Anderson reportedly maintained involvement even after Harry and Meghan's relationship became serious, that he allegedly advised Meghan on strategy for navigating palace protocols, for managing media attention, for ensuring Harry remained emotionally dependent. According to insiders, Anderson's role never ended. It simply became less visible as Meghan learned to operate independently with the tools Anderson allegedly provided. To understand how Markus Anderson gained the power to orchestrate such manipulation, you need to understand the network he operated within. So who enabled Anderson to position Meghan near Harry with such precision? The first enabling figure was the Soho House organisation itself. According to sources familiar with how Soho House functioned in elite circles, the club provided perfect cover for social engineering disguised as organic networking. Insiders claim Anderson allegedly used his position within Soho House to access information about members' schedules, preferences and vulnerabilities. That the club's exclusive nature meant people trusted connections made there, assuming fellow members were vetted and safe. People familiar with Anderson's operations suggest he allegedly exploited that trust to facilitate introductions that served his own agenda or the ambitions of people he chose to help. The second enabling figure was Ron Burkle, the billionaire with deep Soho House connections and ties to British elite circles. According to sources, Burkle's influence allegedly opened doors that Anderson alone could not access. Word from insiders suggests Burkle's involvement in the network that positioned Meghan gave Anderson resources and connections beyond typical hospitality management. That Burkle's relationships with both British aristocracy and American celebrities allegedly created the bridge Anderson needed to move Meghan from Hollywood circles into proximity with royalty. People familiar with these dynamics claim Anderson and Burkle allegedly worked as complementary forces, with Burkle providing access and Anderson managing positioning. Together, sources suggest they allegedly created infrastructure that could move ambitious women from peripheral social positions into direct contact with powerful men who could transform their lives. And the third enabling figure is more shadowy. Insiders point to advisors in Meghan's circle who allegedly recognized Anderson's value and encouraged her to trust his guidance completely. According to sources, these advisors understood that Anderson's orchestration was Meghan's best chance at accessing power beyond anything Hollywood could provide, and they allegedly helped ensure Meghan followed Anderson's directions precisely, presented herself exactly as Anderson suggested, and maintained discretion about how calculated her approach to Harry actually was. What makes Markus Anderson truly dangerous now is not just what he did, but what he knows and could reveal. Want to know what information Anderson allegedly possesses that could destroy the Sussex fairy tale completely? According to sources close to Anderson's circle, he was present for conversations and planning sessions that would prove the relationship was orchestrated from the beginning. Insiders claim Anderson allegedly has documentation of how he researched Harry, how he prepared Meghan, how he engineered their meeting and managed their early relationship. Word from people familiar with Anderson's position suggests he knows exactly what Meghan knew about Harry before they met, what she was told to emphasize, what vulnerabilities she was instructed to mirror, how she was coached to present herself as Harry's perfect match. According to sources, Anderson allegedly documented this orchestration not to weaponize it, but to protect himself if the plan failed or if Meghan ever tried to erase his role from her story. People close to the situation claim Anderson has remained loyally silent about his involvement because Meghan has maintained the relationship and kept him close. But insiders suggest his silence is conditional, that if Meghan ever cuts him off or if she becomes a liability, Anderson allegedly has evidence that would prove their entire origin story was theatrical performance based on intelligence gathering and strategic positioning. Sources claim this documentation is what has Harry stunned, because it means his entire relationship may have been a project Anderson executed with Meghan's full awareness and participation. That the woman he fell in love with was performing based on a script Anderson provided. that the connection he felt was manufactured through manipulation of his vulnerabilities. Those familiar with what Anderson knows suggest he can trace every step of how Meghan moved from peripheral actress to royal wife, and that journey allegedly shows not destiny but design. Anderson allegedly holds the receipts proving Harry was targeted, researched and delivered to Meghan through orchestration disguised as serendipity, and that knowledge makes Anderson one of the most dangerous witnesses to the truth of Harry and Meghan's foundation. And now we reach the final truth about what Harry's discovery means for everything he believed about his life. How does a prince survive learning his love story was orchestrated by a social engineer? Harry stands in California, confronting evidence that allegedly proves Markus Anderson positioned Meghan deliberately, prepared her extensively, and managed their meeting like a strategic operation. According to sources close to the prince, he is stunned by implications that undermine his entire relationship foundation. That the connection he felt was allegedly the result of Anderson coaching Meghan on exactly what to say and how to be. That the serendipity he believed in was actually calculated positioning. That his entire relationship exists because Anderson decided it should. Word from insiders suggests Harry questions everything now, every early conversation with Meghan that felt so natural, every vulnerability she seemed to understand perfectly, every moment when she appeared to be exactly what he needed. Was any of it real? Or was it all performance based on intelligence Anderson allegedly provided? Those close to Harry claim he wrestles with whether Meghan ever loved him genuinely or simply executed Anderson's plan skillfully enough that Harry could not see the manipulation. According to sources, Harry cannot ask Meghan these questions without destroying what remains of their relationship. But he cannot ignore Tom Bower's evidence without living in permanent doubt about whether his marriage is built on authentic connection or strategic deception. The palace confirmation that Anderson orchestrated their meeting allegedly makes this unbearable, because it is not Harry's private suspicion. It is documented evidence from credible biographer that Harry was targeted and delivered through social engineering. And Harry must decide whether to keep defending the organic love story while knowing Anderson allegedly designed every element of it. Because in the end, every relationship requires believing your partner chose you freely. And discovering you were selected, researched, and pursued through orchestration destroys that belief completely. Markus Anderson allegedly made Harry and Meghan happen. Tom Bower documented how it was done. And Harry must live knowing the fairy tale he sacrificed everything for was possibly just the successful execution of someone else's strategic plan. The evidence exists. The orchestration is exposed, and Prince Harry is left stunned by the recognition that he may never know if Meghan truly loves him or simply loves what Anderson helped her achieve through him. Subscribe to our channel, Palace Unfiltered, for more such news. Thanks for watching.